And we're recording. Okay, Dawn. So what drew you into military service and why did you want to serve?
So I was, recruited to play basketball at West Point, and didn't know too much about the military or the academies, but went to visit. And the first time I saw West Point, and the first time I met, some of the cadets, I knew right away that that was my calling, and I was in awe of these people and kind of the sense of purpose that they had and what they were doing and their determination to serve their country. And it was very compelling and inspiring to me. And so from that first visit at West Point, I knew I wanted to be in the Army. I knew I wanted to serve, and I never looked back.
Your sight line, what are you looking at? Are you looking at yourself?
Oh, I don't know what I'm looking at.
All right. Okay. Just where your eyes were, look up a little bit. No, towards the middle of the screen. Yes.
Like right there?
No, it's too low. A little bit higher. Yeah.
Okay.
What do you see? Yeah. Can you look? Yeah, that's good. That's even with your camera.
Okay.
So
do I need to answer again?
No. We'll deal with that. Here's the hardest question of the bunch. What are the headlines of your story?
How do you want me to answer it?
If you were having to give a very short bio in in a quick paragraph or two.
Okay.
Talking points of your life story.
Oh, of my life story?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So headlines of my life story really, grew up very humble roots, was fortunate enough to be pretty good at sports. So I was a basketball player most of my life, played a lot of other sports as well, but that was, my passion, and was good enough to get recruited and went on to play basketball at West Point. And going to West Point gave me an opportunity to then serve in the Army, and served in the Army for just under 5 years. One of the assignments I had, I was a platoon leader out of Fort Stewart, Georgia, deployed to Iraq in 2004, was injured by a rocket-propelled grenade while I was on a routine patrol mission, and came across a rocket-propelled grenade, was on the wrong end of that, and ended up back at Walter Reed Army Medical Center in Washington, D.C., was missing my right arm, and realized that my life was going to change pretty dramatically. So I needed to find a new career, a new identity. So I decided to start a business right after I was medically retired from the service, and started Halfaker and Associates, and been growing that for about the last 15 years, doing mainly health IT work, supporting military health, supporting veterans. And that's pretty much my life in a headline.
I just have to say personally, from knowing you, there's very few people who inspire me more than you.
Oh, thank you.
I really mean that from the bottom of my heart. What are the main challenges for a woman in the military?
All right. I think some of the biggest challenges for women are really, very, I think, similar challenges to anybody who's a minority, right? I mean, whenever you're the minority, there's more eyes on you, and in some cases with women, I think, there's this feeling that we, all right, sorry, I have to scrap it. So I think as a woman in the military, whenever you're a minority, I think the women are about 25% of the military these days. It's a little bit less when I was in. And whenever you're a minority, you're likely to be scrutinized, whether intentionally or not. And you just have a tendency to stand out a little bit more, and then that ends up putting a bit more eyes on you. And I think what I've found as a woman is it's hard to kind of find that sweet spot. It's challenging because if you're too good at things, or too athletic or too strong, or sometimes you get a certain type of reputation, or if you're too soft on things, you get a certain type of reputation. So it's hard to really strike that balance where you're able to prove yourself as physically fit, competent, and have everything that you need to do your job. And it's hard, because I think sometimes you have to kind of go above and beyond just to prove you're an equal. And so I think in some cases, women excel because of that. And in other cases, I think it really makes these careers challenging for women who are also trying to balance a lot of other things in their life, being a mother, being a spouse, if that's their destiny. And so I think, women just have a lot of other kind of competing interests at times. And so it can be hard to kind of balance both when you're, sort of having to go above and beyond to prove yourself.
Excellent. It's a kind of a corollary of that. What's it like to be in a career field with mostly men?
So being in a career field with mostly men for me it was great, because I feel like I, have a lot of shared interests. I love sports, I love the military. And so it wasn't hard to relate. But again, I think, in some cases, you just have to be mindful of the fact that, you're a minority, and so there's a little bit more eyes on you. You stand out a little bit more. And so I think that I found I had to make sort of more of an effort to just try to blend in and try to ensure that I wasn't trying to overcompensate, and that I was just sort of doing the best job that I could, and really, not even thinking about gender. But I had a great experience. I didn't really ever feel that my gender, held me back at all. I didn't ever feel that anybody in the military sort of treated me differently because of my gender. So I really had a positive experience overall. But there's definitely some challenges when you're a minority working with within a group of people.
Okay, excellent. What do you think is the veteran advantage once you leave the military?
Wow. I think veterans have a huge advantage, and I've seen this in the business world, where, you're really looking for people that, are mission oriented, that want to put, a mission or a cause above themselves, and are willing to kind of come together to work toward a shared set of goals or ideas, and advance those. And I mean, I really think that's what, veterans bring. They're well trained. They're committed. They have a great, sort of set of core values, and, they have that's going to afford them opportunities to really make a difference, once they leave the military.
And Don, what did you learn in the military that has best served you in your professional and personal life?
I think the thing I learned most in the military, that really I carry with me today and has helped me a lot, is just the idea of teamwork, and the idea that, when you're in the military, it is a unit, and, a unit means that, it functions because of all the pieces that come together to make it function. And when one piece isn't functioning, then the unit doesn't function. And I think that, kind of applying that concept, in life or in business, or, has been very helpful to me. And just seeing the value that people bring, regardless of, kind of their background or where they're coming from. But the idea that, everybody wants to contribute, everybody wants to be a part of a team. So how do we really look at taking the best from everybody, putting that together kind of in a unit concept, to advance goals and objectives. And I think that's really what I've taken with me.
I love that. I always felt that way in playing team sports.
Yeah, it's very similar to being on a sports team.
Nobody cared what anybody looked like or what. It's just like, what can you contribute to us winning?
Exactly.
I just really, really love that. I miss that, actually.
Yeah.
Here's a good question for you. What do you want your legacy to be to young women following in your footsteps? And do you have a lot of women in your, who work for you?
I do. Yeah. Hmm.
And just out of the side, do you mentor them?
I think informally, yes. I don't have like a formal like women's, affinity group that I lead or anything like that,
Okay.
but absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. My wife, Dorothy, she's very keen on mentoring young women. She has
Okay.
a women-owned business, certified women-owned business.
Yes. Yeah. We're women-owned business and we have a lot of
Oh,
women
you
in.
are? Of course.
Yeah.
Oh,
Mhm,
great.
absolutely.
There's something I want to mention to you after. But anyway, so here's the question. What do you want your legacy to be to young women following in your footsteps?
Um, I think, I think, hmm, I feel like from a legacy perspective, I really feel strongly that if you work hard and you do the right things and and you're determined, I really think you can accomplish anything. And I don't think that, I don't think, scrap that. All right. Can you ask me the question again? Just to,
Sure.
sorry, reset my brain.
What would you like your legacy to be to other young women following in your footsteps?
I think I'd want my legacy to be, just the idea that, hey, if you just get out there and do it, whether you're male or female, being a woman uh, doesn't necessarily have to define you. It is a big part of our identity, but it shouldn't be something that is, determines what we can and can't do in our lives. And I think that, some of the things I've been able to accomplish is really just because I don't focus on gender. And I really just, if there's something I want to do, I just get out there, I do it, I try to lead from the front. And hopefully by leading from the front, other women can see that like, hey, like we can do these things too. And really, whether it's you want to start a business or, run a company or, be in the military, go to ranger school. I mean, there's women out there doing these things. And so whether you're the first or, the last woman to do it, it's really not about being a woman. It's being determined and convicted to what it is that you want to accomplish and going out and making that happen, and not letting gender hold you back.
That's great. I'm going to stop recording and I just have a comment that I want to